is a movement like we've never seen in the history of our country.
Wisconsin is Trump country.
And that's what this fight is all about. We're taking on the failed political establishment and restoring government of, by, and for the people. It's the people. You're the people. You won the election.
We love this country. We love Donald Trump.
Promises made, promises kept.
We support President Trump.
This is epic.
Donald Trump is our president.
With every last ounce of heart and hope and sweat and soul, we are going to make our stand. We are going to stand for liberty. We are going to stand for justice. We are going to stand for freedom. And we are going to stand for the sacred rights given to us by the hand of Almighty God. You joined our movement, the greatest movement in the history of our country. You protected your family. You defended your dignity. You recaptured your destiny. And you took back your country with that great election 2.5 years ago. We are one united movement, one united people, and one United States of America.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
You have always been loyal to this nation. Now you finally have a president who is loyal to you. Every day between now and November 2020, we are going to keep on working, we are going to keep on fighting, and we are going to keep on winning, winning, winning. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. All right, so Senator Comer just had a press conference on Biden family business schemes to start the impeachment trial of the current president of the United States. I was going to watch it anyways and figured I'd watch it with you guys. So, CNN, we got caught being fake news. CNN, please watch our Trump interview. Please renew the ratings with the people's fronts. Fuck you, CNN. Exactly. I saw a tweet that they were saying this is completely unfounded. There's absolutely no evidence. So, giggity. What's up, Mimi? So this is about a half an hour long. I'll probably let it run through most of the time until we'll see. I might jump in every once in a while. You can't say I'm late and gay because it's what I wanted to. I'll say right now, I don't like the big show. We got to get everybody in for the picture and all that bullshit. And it's just wrapped up, so.
All right. Thank you all for coming today. Since taking the gavel in January, the Committee on Oversight and Accountability has accelerated its investigation of the Biden family's domestic and international business practices that we began last Congress. I want to be clear. This committee is investigating President Biden and his family's shady business deals that capitalize on Joe Biden's public office and risked our country's national security. This committee has a duty to ask questions and pursue the facts, no matter where they take us. Through the committee's investigation, we intend to provide transparency to the American people and reach legislative solutions. In only 4 months since obtaining subpoena authority, we have made astonishing progress. Today, we'll talk about that progress. First, we want to discuss information the committee has learned since our last press conference in November. New information investigators have uncovered regarding the transfer of money from foreign entities to the Biden family. Many of the wire payments occurred while Joe Biden was vice president and leading the United States efforts in these countries. First instance, while Vice President Biden was lecturing Romania on anti-corruption policies, in reality, he was a walking billboard for his son and family to collect money. Hunter Biden and his associates capitalized on a lucrative financial relationship with the Romanian national who was under investigation for and later convicted of corruption in Romania. The Bidens received over $1 million for the deal. And 16 of the 17 payments to their associates' account that funneled the Biden's money occurred while Joe Biden was vice president. In fact, the money stops flowing from the Romanian national soon after Joe Biden leaves the vice presidency. This is a pattern of influence peddling. This appears separate from any payment Hunter received from his work connecting this individual to a U.S. law firm. We'll also provide further information regarding the Biden's relationship with China. This includes 2 individuals the committee is particularly concerned about. One of them, Xi Jinping, had close ties to the highest levels of the Chinese Communist Party and operated a multi-billion-dollar energy company with access to large sums of money. We'll discuss how the Bidens received millions of dollars from this individual through the use of shell companies and wire transfers. In March, the committee released its first bank records memorandum that showed a Biden associate, Rob Walker, used his company to funnel money from the Chinese to various Biden family members. Democrats dismissed the evidence, even though it was based on bank records directly from the bank. The Democrats on the Oversight Committee received the same records as the Republicans, and they were able to verify the information. Democrats said all the bank records showed were Papa John's and Starbucks receipts. They deliberately chose to misconstrue and deny what was clearly in front of them. Hunter Biden's representatives claimed the money was, quote, good faith seed funds, but could not explain why those funds had to go through an intermediary in what appears to be an attempt to hide the transfers from the Chinese. They also couldn't explain why the Bidens received over $1 million in 16 different wire transfers over a period of 3 months to at least 5 different banks. The president, when confronted with this information, said it wasn't true. Instead of being honest with the American people, President Biden has claimed since the 2020 election that his family has not received money from China. That was a lie in 2020, and he continues to lie to the American people now. The Bidens have received millions of dollars from China. It is inconceivable that the president did not know it. The White House refuses to correct the president's statements, showing the president is now using the federal government to run interference for his families and his own role in these schemes. Now I want to say a few remarks about the developments last week. A week ago, I sent a subpoena to the FBI for a form that a whistleblower has alleged is in the FBI's possession. We hope the FBI will be transparent and forthcoming and provide the Oversight Committee with the 1023 form we have subpoenaed. If they do, the committee will assess the form it has subpoenaed from the FBI, and has been my practice. We will report to you only facts when they are verified and indisputable. This committee will not pursue witch hunts or string the American people along for years with false promises of evidence that is beyond circumstantial evidence, as Representative Adam Schiff and the Democrats did for years. I trust the whistleblower. A subpoena from this committee is a powerful tool that I do not take lightly. The level of detail provided to Senator Grassley led me to conclude a subpoena was warranted, and I stand by that assessment. I will say this. When Senator Grassley approached me with the information the whistleblower provided, it was because of the information we've learned through this committee's own investigation that indicated to me the whistleblower's allegations are consistent with our independent findings. Those findings are what I called you here today to discuss. The committee has reviewed thousands of bank records from individuals and companies affiliated with the Bidens and their associates. It has received these bank records pursuant to 4 subpoenas I've issued to different banks. These were targeted and specific subpoenas, and each was different based on the information we believed the banks possessed. Every one of those subpoenas returned valuable information that had been unreported and that contributed to this committee's understanding of how the Bidens conducted their businesses. The committee is concerned by the complicated, suspicious network of over 20 companies we have identified the Bidens and their associates used to enrich themselves. Most of these companies were limited liability companies formed during Joe Biden's vice presidency. The bank records show the Biden family, their associates, and their companies received over $10 million from foreign nationals and their companies. Some of that money came from a Chinese company and went to Hunter Biden's company. Other transfers occurred with the help of Rob Walker, who then sent it on to different Biden family members. This is not how lawful businesses operate. Chinese nationals affiliated with the Bidens created limited liability companies in the United States, and then in a short period of time transferred their interest to a Chinese company that sent money to the Bidens. This is not normal.
That's a weird case.
Hunter Biden and his associates courted business in countries that correlated directly with Joe Biden's work as vice president. This is also not normal.
This is Senator Comer. I believe he's from Kentucky, if I'm not wrong. And yeah, he's kind of leading up this investigation. I couldn't tell you who half these people are, honestly, which probably makes me a bad person. I know Jordan and Comer. That's about all I know. Yeah, we need to. I don't know. Hey, no worries, Matt. We need to get back on. We need to pressure this situation. We need to keep pressure on, because there's no question that Joe Biden is corrupt and was taking money from China. Now, are there other people doing that? Probably. Is half our Congress doing that? Probably. But we need to not take it down for retaliation, or not take it down because we want to get back at those Dems, blah, blah, blah. We have to keep the pressure on, and we have to start holding people accountable. And we also need to stop Biden's destructive policies, or we're not going to have a country for Trump to be president of again. So, in my opinion, yeah, Swalwell was corrupt. I mean, they've infiltrated our government at the highest levels, and it's going to take time, but we're going to have to clear this out. Is that Boebert on the left? I can't tell. Yeah, they have to tell a story. Well, and here's the interesting thing. You already see the spin. I already saw the spin I was looking up clips and that kind of stuff. CNN's already spinning it as, there's no, I mean, we can watch just the beginning of this clip. the well, I lost it. Never mind. We'll keep going with this. But CNN started trying to spin it and say, "Oh, there's nothing here, nothing here." So, is it Luna? I'm not sure. Far left is Luna. Okay, cool. I can't really tell. They should move her in my opinion. Maybe move this lady out. Just for the sake of optics. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Move the eye candy to the middle because then it engages more people.
It is not ethical. And this is why we need legislative solutions. Our purpose here is to provide legislative solutions to prevent this unethical behavior from ever happening again. This investigation is about investigating allegations of corruption and fraud at the highest levels of the federal government. This should be a bipartisan issue. This committee is considering legislation that would ensure these sorts of business practices do not continue for Democrats or Republicans. Specifically, the committee is crafting legislative solutions aimed at deficiencies it has identified in ethics laws and disclosure laws for immediate family members of Vice President.
Oh, it's worse, buddy.
These deficiencies potentially place American national security and American interest at risk. Additionally, the committee is considering legislation that would strengthen reporting requirements related to certain foreign transactions involving senior elected officials' family members. Finally, the committee.
Damn it. She might be a Werther's. Like old people eye candy, but. And this is I know I got criticism for it the other day, but at some point we're going to have to work with people we don't like again, and we're going to have to start cleaning this shit out because we can't continue to, if we continue to be polar opposites and fight amongst ourselves, we can't focus on what's there. So we need to bring other people over, the reasonable lefties. I know there's like two, but we need to bring the reasonable lefties, and we need to focus on the people in power, that class, because it's not us. Yeah, and they're not going to follow their own laws. They become a separate class of individual, like government representatives and the bureaucratic state have become a separate entity from the people that they govern. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, and that's what we need to do, and we need to start working together to start removing these people one by one. That is not a threat. I mean, removing them by the electoral process. We need to start over. I tend to agree. I can't advocate for that on this platform, and two, think it would be a really bad idea. Like, I understand that's where it's going. I understand that's where it has to be. I understand that's what's going to happen in the very near future. But hell, I'd like to try everything before that, because that's not going to be fun. I said there's like two. I'm sure there's two. Exactly. Well, maybe they can teach us something. Yeah, Kennedys seem to die en masse when they start doing stuff. So, I don't know. All right, back to
He is evaluating the Bank Secrecy Act and anti-money laundering laws to determine whether financial institutions have the available tools and support from federal agencies to thwart illegal money laundering and foreign corruption activity. As I said, I'm very pleased with the progress the committee is making in this investigation. However, due to the information we're releasing today and further developments the committee is aware of, the investigation will enter a new phase now that is armed with information obtained in the bank records. I will soon issue a new round of subpoenas to banks for specific targeted information. I will also provide one more opportunity for certain Biden associates, including his art gallerist and Rob Walker, to cooperate willingly with this investigation.
All art is just money laundering.
Finally, I'm publicly releasing the second bank accounts memorandum to the American people so they can see for themselves the activities the Biden family is engaged in, despite the president's statement to the contrary. I want to thank the people and financial institutions that have cooperated with this investigation so far. I also want to encourage more people to come forward and let them know that their information will be kept private and confidential. To my Democrat colleagues, I want to say that this investigation will continue to move forward. Do you want to continue covering up the Biden's influence peddling schemes when the evidence is being placed right in front of you? With or without Democrat support,
To Mark?
we will
Yeah,
continue
we could give
working
him
to
to
deliver
Mark.
the answers, transparency, and accountability that the American people deserve. I now turn to Andy Biggs, who will provide some information.
Shit, I should have known that one. Andy Biggs.
Thank you, Chairman Comer. We appreciate your leadership on this very, very significant issue to the direction of this country, and we appreciate your leadership and appreciate my colleagues who are here today, and also the great staff that has done such incredible work on behalf of this committee in reviewing these records and helping us to obtain them. Thank you. And thank you to
The hope is it does,
those
buddy.
who are here
but-
from the media today.
I don't know, man.
So when we talk about the Biden family and associates, I think it's important for the American people to understand what we mean
I'm not entirely
when we're
sure.
talking about these.
That very well
associates.
could be.
What are we really getting at?
He's not here.
First, they use them as vehicles to move money directly into Biden family accounts. Why is that? It's because they were looking to obfuscate and hide where the money was coming from. For example, the Bidens used their associate Rob Walker to bring in millions of dollars from China and Romania. Walker's limited liability company, Robinson Walker LLC, paid Hunter, James, Hallie, and others in the Biden network more than $2 million after foreign money hit his account. 1/3 to the Bidens. That was the pattern. For example, on March 1st, 2017, only 2 months after Joe Biden left office, Robinson Walker received a $3 million wire from State Energy HK Limited, a Chinese entity. The next day, 1/3 of that money, $1,065,000, went to the bank account in Abu Dhabi of the company EEIG, which was controlled by James Gilliatt, another Biden associate. Over the next 3 months, Robinson Walker LLC sent 16 incremental payments.
Yeah, Hunter Biden. There's some interesting shit on him. I wish there was a platform where I could share that information with you guys. Maybe on Discord. Can't do it here. Can't do it on Rumble. But I'd love to share some information. Because, yeah, damn. Biden, there's supposedly an indictment coming for Hunter as well. So, hopefully. But this all could just be talk. We know how politics works. It all could be talk. I hope it's more than that. I hope there's some action to it, but only time will tell. So, I think that they're hoping that J6 just kind of fades into obscurity. I think that's the approach that they've taken so far. So, I don't know that I agree with it, but I think that's the right's approach, is just kind of let it fade away until people are tired of it. Definitely not New York. I agree, Jude. I think the two-party system cannot work in this environment. We need actual people. Could be locals. Could be. I don't. Why not Rumble? Because some of the images are not. So there's a document and it includes images, and I guess I could just pull it down and put it back up. I'll think about it. I'll share it with you, CZ, privately in Discord later and see what you think. So. I agree. See, that's an interesting, not to get too far off topic, but that's an interesting, if Joe pardons Hunter, well, one, Joe might not be in office anymore, but if Joe pardons Hunter, then is that an impeachable offense? Because you're covering up a scheme that's then tied to you. That seems, and I know they have extensive pardon power, but when does that become a question? Because there was grumblings about, if Trump pardons, who was it, Giuliani, maybe, that he should be impeached for that. I could just do it on Twitch and say the hell of it. Yeah, surprisingly, Twitch hasn't really fucked with me that much. I stream on Twitch every time, so I stream on Rumble, Twitch, and YouTube. So I could do that. That's a good idea. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll figure it out then. He can, but I mean, it gets into crazy territory. I agree, but the constitutional pardon power is wide-reaching. Like, you can pardon just about anybody. So that's true. He could. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah. Sorry, I misunderstood your original comment. Well, would there be any? Because the media would cover it up, because they're already saying that there's nothing here, and Republicans being Republicans and weaponizing government and blah, blah, blah. So, not a whole lot. We'll get back into it here in a second.
To over 5 different Biden accounts totaling $1,065,692. This included payments to James Biden, who received 5 wires and over $50,000, who did no discernible work to earn that money. A third to Gilyard, a third to the Bidens. What was State Energy HK Limited? That is a second class of Biden associates, the people from whom the Bidens conducted business. State Energy HK Limited was a company controlled by Yi Jianming. Yi was a Chinese billionaire who was reportedly the former Deputy Secretary Counsel for an international outreach arm for the People's Liberation Army. It's called the China Association for International Friendly Contact. According to a U.S. agency, that organization is a platform for deploying undercover intelligence gatherers. Chairman Yi started an energy company called CEFC, China. Yi explained in a speech to the committee that the committee has obtained and translated into English that CEFC China's vision is very simple. It is to obtain overseas resources and serve the national strategy. Not U.S. national strategy, Chinese national strategy. And Chinese national strategy is Chinese Communist Party's strategy. Yi was close to Chinese President Xi Jinping and welcomed at least one foreign president to Beijing with Xi. The DOJ has referenced Yi
That's
and
the game.
CEFC in a scheme bribing African leaders. The other Chinese national I'll mention now is Gong Wendong, who did work for Yi in America.
Gong Wendong.
When Yi needed to do business in America, he often looked to Gong Wendong. The amount of money Yi was sending to Gong Wendong was staggering. From June through August.
I agree. He knew that name a little too well. So we have control of the House of Representatives. So I ask if he'd get impeached. Impeachment is in the Congress, in the House, whatever, and removals in the Senate. So just like with Donald Trump, like he could be impeached by the simple majority that we have in the House of Representatives, and then the Senate could not vote to remove him, which is more likely of the outcome. So,
of 2017 alone, Yi transferred to Gong Wendong in America more than $130 million. Yi met with Hunter Biden in February 2017 and gave him a diamond reportedly worth tens of thousands of dollars as a gift. In August of 2017, Yi, through Gong Wendong, opened up a business with Hunter and James Biden called Hudson West 3, based here in Washington, D.C. And Hunter wanted to get Joe Biden's keys to the office, and they could all share office space together, according to an email verified by the Washington Post. But things didn't go as planned because the Chinese detained Yi in March of 2018 for fraud. In an email to Gong Wendong and another associate, Hunter tried to explain away the last year of doing business together. This is an email that has also been verified by the Washington Post. Hunter wrote, and I quote, "I am not in a joint venture with CEFC. I'm not partners with CEFC, and I'm not employed nor funded by CEFC." Close quote. But Hunter was funded by CEFC, as Ms. Mace will explain. I'm extremely concerned about the president's connections to these individuals he was supposedly meant to share office space with, and is denied knowing anything about these transactions and these business dealings, and also is denied receiving any money for himself or his family from Chinese connections. That has been proven to be a lie. And I'll yield back, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
One, you're not on the floor. You don't have to yield back. Two, sorry to keep pausing it, but you guys have some great conversation, and I love it. I think when the impeachment starts coming around, I think they're going to, the party's going to remove Heels Up and put in the person they want to see succeed Biden if he actually gets removed. I think it could be a ploy. I think the Republicans could be playing right into getting Biden out. That's just my personal opinion. So. Wait, what was over the line? No, you're fine. So let's give them some credit. China is playing the game right. Like, they are kicking ass at this game. And it's a little terrifying, actually. But cinema. So both parties suck. Let's be honest. The Republicans are infiltrated with neocons, and they exert pressure on the kind of the America First candidates that I more align with. And the Democrats are just insane. So, yep. Gobble one dong. I think that's what he said. Yeah. Yep. I think so too. I think it will go. I think what's likely to happen is he will get impeached and probably not removed. But if there's grumblings of removal, you'll see Heels Up gone and whoever they actually want to install right there. That's all it would take. What's up, Waxing? Haven't seen you in a minute. Oh, gross. She's not the speaker anymore. It would be Kevin McCarthy. All right, all right. That's true, but I don't know. It'll be interesting. Well, that's true as well. For the right price, they'll impeach anybody. Hell, they'll impeach me for the right price. And I'm not even in Congress.
Don't trust China. China is asshole.
I gave you one, Bobby. Or somebody asked. Somebody said it. Stingy. There we go. Some Parmesan cheese. Yeah. Actually, don't. It's Kennedy. They're all a play on the same damn name. Kennedy running for president. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And it won't be Robert Kennedy Jr. And this is gross. Damn you, greedy. I could go so many ways with this, Steve, but I'm gonna just leave it there. All right, you're so distracting. All right, we're going back to it. So shit. Robert Kennedy. Robert Kennedy is not, and I understand that he has a medical issue. I'm just saying, from a wide range of people, his speech is so poor that I don't think he can get elected president. But that's what I'm thinking. So that's just my personal thought. I think that people want a speaker that can and shit. I just contradicted myself because Biden's in. But yeah, I know you have Fetterman and Biden, but I think and yeah, he could use some kind of service. I'm just saying I think that's one of his drawbacks is his speech. It doesn't flow, and when you're getting into debates, when you're getting into talking and not getting 81 million votes totally legitimately, you have to have that natural flow. You have to have that speech that grabs people, and not grab people and sniff them. But anyways, I digress.
Thank you, Mr. Speaks. Next we have Ms. Mace.
Thank you, Chairman Comer, for your leadership. In less than 100 days of subpoena power, this has been one of the most in-depth investigations the House Oversight Committee has ever had in recent history. And I would hope that the media here today would put as much attention and interest and focus on this as they have a former president. For years, the left has said, no one is above the law. Well, put your money where your mouth is and prove that, because the American people do not trust the federal government. They don't trust Congress. They don't even trust current presidents because of the kind of possible and alleged corruption that we see at every level of government, and no one is ever held to account. I try to call the balls and strikes, regardless of whether or not you have an R or a D by your name. I've been accused, all of us have been, over this particular issue that we're conspiracy theorists. We're not. What we're proving to you today is showing you actual bank records, actual evidence of shell companies and businesses, or more businesses and more Bidens involved that we knew of. You have to issue more subpoenas because every time we turn over a rock, there's more information. There's more possible corruption. There's more possible allegations that need to be investigated. This is what we know today. Money flowed from the Chinese Communist Party, aligned with with individuals into American shell companies. And then that money was wired and transferred to Biden family members. This could be the most corrupt scheme in American politics, where a sitting vice president, where we saw members of his family, 9 members so far, there may be more, that were enriched from countries all over the world. And we're providing more information about Romania today. We know about China. We know that the president denied this during an election in 2020, continues to deny it to this day. And we want everyone held accountable if they have violated their oath of office. We shouldn't have folks that are in office that are betraying their oath of office. We shouldn't have people in office that are betraying their country. If they're paying loads of cash to their family members from adversaries of ours around the world, it's wrong, whether you have a Republican or a Democrat by your name. And we saw evidence of intentionally taking steps to hide the sources of money coming directly from China through a series of financial gymnastics. Joe Biden's political career was winding down at the time, and this was one of the Biden family's last chances to cash in on the name. We have evidence of Chairman Yi Jinping, who is believed to be affiliated with Chinese Communist Party intelligence organizations and has even been accused of gathering intel for communist China. Yi started CEFC in China. His agent in America, Gong Wendong, which Andy Biggs mentioned earlier, formed CEFC Infrastructure Investment US on May 11th, 2017. On May 18th of 2017, Dong used one of his Chinese companies, Shanghuaxin, to fund CEFC infrastructure in an attempt to hide the source of the money. And you see this pattern repeated over and over and over again. On June 30th, 2017, Shanghai Huaxin sent $10 million from China to CEFC infrastructure. Then in August 4th, 2017, CEFC infrastructure wired $100,000 directly to Hunter Biden's own corporation, Owasco PC. Hunter's Owasco also received $500,000 from another entity affiliated with Yi, State Energy HK Limited. State Energy HK appears to be part of Yi's personal slush fund to potentially commit bribery and launder money. The Chinese Communist Party affiliated entities may have bought influence with the Bidens that they couldn't get otherwise, and obviously for good reason. These alleged layering schemes are repetitive. They knew what they were doing, they knew how to do it, and they did it multiple times all over the world. If it looks complicated and sounds complicated, it was intentionally made to be complicated so you could not follow the money. What we're trying to do today is show you how to follow the money. The Committee of Oversight, we need to pursue the Chinese relationship with the Serbian politician Vuk Jeremic, who first attempted to introduce Yi to the Bidens in 2015. From August 2000.
Did she just say a racial slur? All right. Anyways, a couple comments. Who's the Democrat? So this is an interesting one. So these states, and we always talk about local level politics. The states have delegates, and delegates are normal people. I'm a Michigan delegate, and they actually get on the nominating committee and nominate the people. We have an interesting thing in my section of the country that we're just starting to take over the rhinos. Like we just outnumbered them for the first time, and our chairperson is now an America First candidate. So it is possible. It is happening here. Get involved. I think it's like $15 or something to go file paperwork for it, and then you get on the ballot, you run. At least here in Michigan, go be a delegate. It's not that much of a time commitment, and get involved in your local politics. Yes, he absolutely has. God, I hope so. God, I hope so. If they don't, then we have bigger issues. So, oh yeah, she does. Fantastic. So I finally got my noise gate, and I'm working on the setup, and everything's starting to come along, so I can finally start 3D printing again without driving everybody nuts from the sounds. We may be. Yes, we're watching the GOP in coordination with the House and the Senate held this press conference, and it finished up just about the time I went live. So we're just a little bit behind. Well, hell no. I agree with abolish the parties, but media has too many skeletons. That's not going to work. Yeah, you can't wear. Well, Jim's wearing gold. You can't wear blue because that's the other side, which is stupid. But yeah, I agree. A green wouldn't be a bad thing. So we have. It's a closed primary. I'm trying to remember. So it's a closed primary, but you can vote. Like you can go either way. So there's no. You don't have to be registered to vote. So I'm a Republican, obviously. I don't have to be registered as a Republican to vote in the Republican ballot, but I can only select one. So I could walk in and say I wanted a Democrat ballot and do it. So I guess it's open, but yeah. That was so confusing. So yeah, it's an open primary. Sorry, I was trying to think through it. Yes. Wait until 24. I have so many little red wagons. Oh. Yep. I agree. Fuck the potato in chief. Oh, that's cool, man. Yes. Absolutely. Clown makeup would be more fitting. It really would. I don't know, Jude. That's the other side, buddy. I don't know. I know that steel doesn't break down, buddy, and it was still there last time I checked. So everybody has skeletons. Well, I run as a Republican, but yeah, I completely killed that. So you can pick on election day which party you would like, and you can only vote for one of the two parties. I think the two-party system is broken. And the problem is with independents, you don't. So I ran as an independent for office, and independent to Republican, the infrastructure, the availability, the polling data, all these big things are so much better as a Republican, as a part of the party, than it is as an independent. An independent is an uphill battle and very expensive. Right. We're hoping. I'm in Michigan, Boomer. I'm in Southeast Michigan. That's true. Just take the letter off the end of the name. Like, you don't really have to be either one, in my opinion. And yep, and there's a resident Canadian. Yeah. Just get rid of the party altogether. Just get rid of the party altogether. Oh, yeah. Yep. Third parties were dead to begin. Michigan is Canada's nuts, basically.
2015 to June of 2016, State Energy HK paid Jeremy's company
Yep,
$3 million.
exactly.
When Jeremy ran for UN Security General, who
100%.
did he turn to? It appears he turned to Hunter Biden. On June 16th, 2016, Jeremy wrote to
What's up,
Hunter
3 years?
asking if he could meet with the Vice President's National Security Advisor, Colin Kahl, related to the elections for UN Security General. The meeting appears to have happened because on July 2nd, 2016,
I love Detroit, brother.
Jeremick informed Hunter that my meeting,
I'd
quote,
fight
with
for
Colin
Detroit.
did not last very long, but it didn't go too bad, I think. What is suboptimal is that the office of the vice president seems to be outside the decision-making loop on the UN Security General elections issue. These people didn't come to Hunter Biden because he understood world politics or that he was experienced in it, or that he understood Chinese businesses. They wanted him for the access his last name gave them. Access to the Chinese Communist Party they couldn't otherwise get. In March of 2017, the same Chinese company that sent $3 million to Vuk Jeremic sent $3 million to one of
Well, I was really
Biden's
high on
associates, who
Ambien.
siphoned
and-
off 30%. As Amy Biggs mentioned, we see that repeated over and over again.
Yep.
Siphoned off 30% or $1 million to Hunter Biden, James Biden, Hallie Biden, why she would need that, and an unknown Biden bank account. The committee has written to Vuk Jeremic and Rob Walker, but they have both refused to cooperate with the Oversight Committee. The Biden family needs to answer for this, and the DOJ needs to get off its ass and investigate. We've done the work for them so they can't screw it up now. If these allegations, any of these allegations,
I know
are
how to
proven
play the
true,
game.
then someone with the last name Biden needs to be charged, prosecuted, maybe spend a little time in prison to take to account and responsible for the actions they've taken today. Also, as mentioned by the chairman, I want to thank you. The legislative priorities we have of our committee, this is not a witch hunt. This is not a conspiracy theory. If there are anti-corruption laws that need to be made stronger, we will also do that. And I appreciate your time today. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks, Representative Armstrong.
Well, thank you, Chairman Comer, and thanks for everybody for all the hard work. One of the common responses we hear about this investigation is that it all happened after Joe Biden left office. But that is not true. I'm going to detail a specific set of payments made to members of the Biden family from Gabriel Popovich during Joe Biden's time as vice president. The committee has obtained the bank records for one of the companies of a close Biden associate, Rob Walker. Walker used his company, Robinson Walker LLC, to receive money from foreign companies. He then sent the money to various Bidens, including Hunter Biden, James Biden, Hallie Biden, and another Biden account. Walker's LLC received 17 payments from Bladen Enterprises Limited. The first payment was made in November of 2015, and the last payment happened in May of 2017. 16 of the 17 payments occurred while Joe Biden was vice president. Bladen Enterprises is affiliated with Romanian businessman Gabriel Popovich. Popovich is a Romanian businessman who, at the time of these payments, was subject of a high-profile corruption investigation. In fact, he was convicted of one such obstruction charge in 2016. Popovich's company paid Walker LLC just over $3 million. And like clockwork, Walker dispersed approximately $1 million of that money to the Bidens. If that sounds familiar, it should. It's essentially the same structure Walker and the Biden family had with the Chinese money, a 1/3 cut. So what were the vice president's duties related to Romania at this time? Well, in May of 2014, Vice President Biden visited Romania and delivered a speech about corruption, saying it can represent a clear and present danger, not only to a nation's economy, but to its very national security. And in September of 2015, Vice President Biden welcomed the Romanian president to the White House, and they spoke about anti-corruption policies. 5 weeks later, after the White House meeting, Rob Walker's company's bank accounts began receiving payments from Popovich's company. Walker then sent a portion of each installment payment to Hunter Biden's business, Owasco, and another company, EEIG, which was owned by close Hunter Biden associate James Gilliard. Another Biden bank account that Hunter claims is his, and in one case, $10,000 to Hallie Biden. Let's be clear. The $3 million sent to Rob Walker and dispersed to the Biden family appears completely separate and distinct from legal work performed by the law firm associated with Hunter Biden. This is simply not how legal fees are paid. I spent 10 years collecting legal fees. Nobody would pay or receive payments this way. It makes absolutely no sense. And again, the structure is the same as the Chinese payments. If it's for legal fees, why are the deals the same? In fact, it's very hard to come up with any legitimate business reason to conduct transactions with this type of complex way. Why would separate payments go to Hunter Biden's business and to himself individually? Why would Walker transfer money from his business account to his personal account before distributing the money? Why are other Biden family receiving any of these payments? We need to understand more about this $3 million deal. But it's clear that the pattern shows two separate foreign countries paid millions of dollars through Walker, of which the Biden family received a 1/3 cut. These payments, their timing, the complexity of the money transfer for transactions all warrant further investigation into a possible influencing peddling scheme. This is simply not how legitimate business is conducted. And the fact that Vice President Joe Biden was lecturing the Romanian people about corruption while his family was being paid over $1 million from a Romanian businessman who was being prosecuted for corruption would be laughable if it wasn't so troubling. Long time ago, I had a client got stopped. He had $50,000 in cash, 11 burner phones, and a bunch of pawn shop money tickets in his car. And when he came in to see me and I took him as a client, I said, you have a problem. That is easy to understand. Financial transactions amongst 17 different shell companies, banks all over the world are complex. We get it. But the pattern is emerging, and there is no reason that legitimate business is ever conducted in this manner. And with that.
So make these politicians divest their businesses. There's no reason you should own a business and then be able to make policy to enforce that business or influence that business. Sorry. I could get the man. We could go a long way with that one. I agree, Vampire. Again, it's local level politics, and we gotta go from the ground up. And then once we get majorities in, God damn it, Alex. Once we start getting majorities to elect and elected delegates, then we have to start putting up good candidates that believe in our values, and maybe not vote for the polished politician look, but vote for the trucker or the construction worker or the bartender or the oh shit, we did vote for a bartender. That's how we got AOC. Never mind, not the bartender, but everybody else. I need one of those one of those line charts where they just connect everything to each other. I need one of those. I'm gonna write my congressman and request one. I think that's all this attention isn't good. Those above the Biden family may want to silence Bidens before deals are made. I tend to agree with that. I don't think the Bidens are in control of what they're doing. I think it's somebody above the Bidens or somebody in a different sphere than the Bidens. So is it potential that we start seeing, eliminations? It's possible. Maybe. It's a fiery. Yes, remember to hit the like, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. Are you shitting me? The Obamas, the Clintons. I think that there's just a hierarchy, and we don't technically know what it is. But let me check Rumble one more time real quick. 99% of GOP want to jack. They have no balls and scared of exposing their own corruption. I agree with that as well. I think that's a distinct possibility. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. For sure.
Thank you, Representative Thompson. Next, we have Representative Donald.
Biden just authorized another 1.5 billion in military aid for Ukraine.
Thanks for being here, everybody. Look, a couple things. First, what we're seeing here, what we're witnessing with the Biden family, frankly, is just a web of concealment, of deception. A lot of people would say corruption. But let's be very clear. You have this many companies involved, this velocity of transactions, size of transactions. Like my colleagues have said, this is not how normal businesses operate. I had the ability with Chairman Comer and other members of the committee to go over to the Treasury building and review documents.
I kind of like this guy. Problem is major corruption in small towns as well. Yes, that's why we need to all do it quickly. We need to overtake and become the majority quickly so that these types of things can't happen. And that's why we all need to kind of get off our ass at one time and go make a go of it. So. Yep. That's what I'm saying. We need to take it over little by little and run for offices. Like I said, I think it was $15 and it took me all of 10 minutes. So, I'll put up some signs, talk to some people, which I do in my community anyways, and won in a goddamn landslide. Hell yeah.
And having read those documents, one thing became pretty crystal clear that there were many people who had serious questions about the transactions and about the velocity of these transactions. And they either get very, very, very deep into concealment, hiding money, shifting money. And for the purpose, we don't know, because one thing everybody in this room and the American people definitely know is that the Biden family doesn't really have a business. There is no business structure around this family except politics. And since Joe Biden has spent decades in the Senate, served 8 years as vice president, and is now president of the United States, and the family's getting money from various countries and foreign businesses through various shell companies and this web of LLCs. I mean, guys, you in the press, this is easy pickings. I'm giving you Pulitzer stuff here. Like, all you have to do is literally look at our memo and see the level of detail upon which they have created this. And it's very, very frustrating. We have now been able to clearly see that the Biden's associates, like Rob Walker, Eric Sherman, has been discussed, created at least 16 companies while Joe Biden was vice president of the United States. 16 companies created while he was vice president. Now the list is 20. And as we continue our investigation, that list is growing. And like I said before, the question is to serve what purpose? And the purpose of all these companies being created is to conceal money that the Biden family has been gaining because Joe Biden has been sitting at the upper echelon of our politics for almost 5 decades. That is the entire purpose here. Here's an example of what I mean. You have Rosemont Seneca Partners, Rosemont Seneca Advisors, Rosemont Seneca Technology Partners, RSP Holdings, RSTP2.
Yeah, he's kind of badass. I'm kind of liking him.
RSTP2 Bravo, Rosemont Seneca.
Wait to see
Thornton,
more, but
Rosemont Seneca
he hasn't
Bohai.
rubbed me
Make sure I
wrong yet.
pronounce it right. Bohai, Bohai. And the list goes on and on. Cycling through this many companies serves no legitimate
What's up,
purpose. And as somebody who actually worked in banking, I did that long before I came here.
Oh, they had
Whenever
a
there was
report
like
and
this many companies
they forgot it.
just laying all over the place, and you see wire transfers and cashier checks over here going to random members of the family for no apparent purpose at the size and velocity at which all of this was being conducted. The only logical conclusion of a financial professional is you are concealing money. Let me restate this. You are concealing money from either the IRS or from credit agencies or from other people in general. That's the only reason you set up a structure.
He's a really good
Some of these
speaker.
companies were connected to Hunter's
like I said,
personal professional company,
I'm
Oswego,
liking him so far.
or Skinny Atlas, Scale Atlas, however you want to pronounce it. And the list goes on. And Mr. Biggs, he talked about Hudson West 3 and some of those other issues that were going on as well. One thing I want to make sure is that all of this has happened and Joe Biden is aware. Nobody in this room can logically sit here and say that the president of the United States had no idea that these companies were being formed while he was vice president of the United States. And I will add you, he was probably in better mental shape then than he is today. You know, I'll throw that out there. And so what this committee is going to continue to do is pursue this investigation. We are going to continue to document, and we're going to provide that information to all of you in the press. So to help you, and frankly, you know, like Congresswoman May said, and probably help the DOJ along with their investigation. One quick note, it's interesting that the Department of Justice has been investigating Hunter Biden for quite some time, and we seem to just never really get anywhere. And so I think that's also interesting as well. I wonder what's going on at the Department of Justice. But that being said, the bottom line is there is no real business here. None. And let me also say this, because I know there are many in this room who wanted to go down all the various schemes that our colleagues on the other side of the aisle accused the former president of. Be very clear. The former president actually had a business, very big business. You could say it was his name. You could say it was his buildings. You could say it was wine. You could say it was branding. You could say it was The Apprentice. But he had a very big and legitimate business, which everybody in this room clearly knows and understands and can point to and say, ah, that's the thing, that thing over there. Joe Biden has no business except his position in politics. And it is the requirement of this committee to investigate that. We're going to continue to do that, and we're going to let the facts speak for themselves. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Lastly,
Yeah, I like Byron, but you know, we can't. We're all racist bigots because we're on the right, so we can't like a black man. But you know, he'll be if he tries to run for any higher office, he'll be the next white supremacist that they chastise us for. Anyways, I saw one. Oh, Comer. The FBI did investigate him, and there's several reports out there about it. But yeah, they never followed up on it. So he's a persuasive man. Yeah. Yep. And it's gonna get worse with the 87,000 new IRS agents. So. And let's see. Damn it, Tweety. Yep. I'm very sad to say I like a politician because usually the true colors come out later, but this guy I've seen before and I like. Yeah, that's the same with me. I use a reserved judgment until I think I've seen enough. But yeah, I agree. He is persuasive. So, all right, let's finish up with it because I have to go back to work at some point. I was like, hell, the actual speech is only like 30 minutes, but it's me. So
Representative Jordan.
Here we go, Jim Jordan.
Suspicious activity reports. The key word in that phrase is the word suspicious. There are 170 of those reports, many of them put together by the Treasury Department of our government in the Obama-Biden administration. So 170 of those that the committee has reviewed, thousands of pages of bank records the committee has reviewed, and that has told us that there are now multiple, as Mr. Donalds just said, multiple LLCs receiving money from foreign entities and paying that money out to multiple members of the Biden family. And the fundamental question is the one Byron just raised. For what? What did they do? What was the business? What service did they provide? What value did they add? What did they do to warrant receipt of the money? That is the fundamental question, and no one seems to have an answer to that.
Oh, no, it's my fault. Blab away.
But Mr. Comer, Chairman Comer, and the team, that's what we're looking into, trying to get. And I would just say this, too. Why not just come clean? Why not just be honest with us? Why not tell us the truth? But I would tell you this, I think it's a pattern with this administration. They haven't been square with us, straight with the American people about anything. They tell us the border is secure. We know it isn't. They tell us our debt ceiling bill is going to hurt veterans. No, it doesn't. Joe Biden said during the campaign that the letter from 51 former intel officials, when he used it in the debate, he portrayed it as if it was organic. And we now know through another investigation that we're all working on that, in fact, it was coordinated. That letter from 51 former intel officials was coordinated with the Biden campaign. So much so, the Biden campaign told Mike Morrell, here's the journalist we want you to have the story to, the letter to first. Why not just be straight with us? Why not come clean? Why not tell us the truth? Tell the American people the truth. They deserve that from their government. Again, the fundamental question is, what did they do to warrant the receipt of millions and millions of dollars? Why did Joe Biden's brother? Why did Joe Biden's sister-in-law? Why did Joe Biden's son? Why did so many family members get the money? What did they do to warrant receipt of that money? That's the fundamental question. Chairman Comer and the team have done great work, and they're determined to get answers to those fundamental questions.
I want to thank the committee. I want to thank the staff for all the time pouring through these documents. Now we would like to entertain questions, and I want to begin with the fourth largest newspaper in the state, who I read somewhere was banned from the White House, but we'll start with the New York Post. You're always welcome here.
I'd like to ask you two questions. First, about the investigative next steps, and secondly, about the FBI informant file that you were seeking.
Real quick, I like to find that the FBI, IRS, and DOJ know exactly how much is in our bank accounts, but don't know about the Bidens. Again, it's a tier system. They're a different class than we are at this point. So they're exempt, and that's where the problem lies. So like JJ at times, then other times he speaks exactly like a rhino. I'm optimistically cautious. I think that they are putting the screws on Mr. Jordan. So
regarding next steps, you produced a significant amount of information so far about foreign income to the president's family. No doubt there's going to be more to come. But are you going to be able to prove the central thesis that President Biden was directly involved with corruption without getting bank records for either President Biden, James Biden, Hunter Biden, showing the transfer of money or the payments of expenses that President Biden should have picked up himself? And secondly, on the FBI informant file, are you going to be able to provide us any more information today on that, such as which country it pertains to? And is there any evidence that President Biden has offshore bank accounts?
Well, first of all, with respect to President Biden, I don't think anyone in America who's watching C-SPAN or any other network that's covering this would think that it's just a coincidence that 9 Biden family members have received money for this influence peddling scheme. I mean, what as Representative Jordan and the other speakers said, what business is there? You know, the media has always said two things. First of all, the media have said, many in the media have said that no transactions happened while Joe Biden was vice president. We've proven that wrong. Joe Biden said during 2020 that his family never took any money from China. Today, we've proven that wrong, and you have it in your memorandum, the bank transfers. So we believe that the president has been involved in this from the very beginning, obviously. We're going to continue to look. There are, what we've cited today and what we're updating you with today, 4 banks. Those the result from 4 banks. We believe there are 12 banks. So right now, you could say that we're in the beginning stages of this investigation. But many of you wrote, I read your stories, many of you wrote, not the New York Post, but many of you wrote that we would never get access to bank records because that's what the White House told you. And they said we would never have access to the Treasury because that's what the White House and Jamie Raskin told you. But we have the bank records. We're going to get more bank records. We just got the bank records from going through the associates. We knew there were people that were wiring money, that were accepting the initial payments from our adversaries around the world. And then they were funneling the money to the Bidens through various LLCs. So we got the bank records through the back door. And we can tell you from the people that we're meeting with that were involved with many of the schemes that we're pretty confident that the president was very knowledgeable.
Can this old bitch not interrupt by drinking her Ensure during a press conference? Sorry, that's bothering me. Keep waiting for a straw that breaks the deluded camel's back. I think it's coming, and I think Impish has a good point here. Central bank digital currency, CBDC, that is coming out 1st of July. I think we're 52 days away, if I remember correctly. That could be it. Takes surveillance state to a whole new level. Again, I think that they did the same thing that they did with I forget who he is. How did I just forget his name? The one that was coming out hard and then just kind of fade into the woodwork. I think that they exert power and threaten these people with different things. Yeah, probably. Yeah, tomorrow probably for sure. Sorry.
Of what his family was doing. You've seen pictures with these people. You've seen meetings. You've seen instances where the president took his son on trips during the last year of his vice presidency. And every account prior to today said, but none of those transactions happened while he was vice president. We just laid out that 16 of the 17 payments to the Bidens from Romania occurred while Joe Biden was vice president. With the second question with respect to the FBI, this is Senator Grassley's whistleblower. I've reviewed the transcript. We have given the FBI until noon today to provide that document, that very specific document. And we're going to let the ball be in the FBI's court. And then Senator Grassley and I, if the FBI for some reason does not comply with our subpoena, then Senator Grassley and I will discuss the next step. Next question.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
Mark Tapstock, yeah, about time. There have been a number of scandals.
Mm-hmm.
You just said that you're in the beginning stages of this, but I wonder if you
I'm waiting to see how they'll spin it.
can put this into historical context.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think we've already provided, despite a few articles saying that this committee, I mean, first, I hate to be critical of the media, but I mean, a lot of you honestly deserve it. So, but with respect, they said, well, this began in November. We had a press conference here. And at that time, I think the Associated Press and other outlets were saying that the laptop was Russian disinformation still at that point. They were saying that this were conspiracy theories, and they were saying that none of the money ever happened while Joe Biden was vice president. We've dismissed all of that. We have evidence. That's something, again, I don't think a lot of you are used to with respect to congressional investigations. We have evidence. And you look at the congressional scandals of the past. You look at Watergate and things like that.
Do you need no one? I'm looking for one for research purposes.
The Watergate. The press found out about it. And
well,
instead
yeah,
of the
I
press
saw that as well.
asking
That
Joe Biden, when
it's
we
just
disclosed
retaliation.
a month ago that through the Robinson Walker account, 3 or 4 Biden family members received $1.3 million. Somebody yelled out,
That's why I was.
what do you
thought
think
it was
about
important
your
to
family
jump on and
receiving
talk
money
about
from
it.
China? And he said, that's not true. And nobody pressed him again. So I don't think the media is playing the same role that it used to play with respect to investigative reporting. And it's been very difficult. We're fighting the Biden attorneys. We're fighting the DOJ. We're fighting the FBI. We're fighting a lot of the media. And we're just trying to be transparent. The White House said today that this was a political stunt. That's what little Ian Sam said. This was a political stunt by Comer. A press conference, a political stunt. We're actually giving you a memorandum with evidence. So we're trying to be transparent. We're leading a credible investigation, as Ms. May said. And I think that from a historical standpoint, We've never seen a presidential family receive these sums of money from adversaries around the world. And we're just talking about a couple of countries today.
Yeah, no accountability.
If you look at the countries that this family was influence peddling in, China's probably the most reputable country on the list, if that tells you anything. So I think we're making a lot of progress in less than 100 days. One difference between us and the work that the Senate did is we have subpoena power, and we got the bank records, and we're going to get more bank records, and we're going to have more whistleblowers come forward. A few weeks ago, the last thing I'll say to answer the question, we said, I mentioned whistleblowers a couple of weeks ago, and Jamie Raskin said there were no whistleblowers. There are 2 whistleblowers that come forward now, one with the IRS and one with the DOJ. So, that's right.
If you could just speak more to the policy aspect of it, because how can you discount maybe Hunter Biden just, used his father's name to get this money without any direct involvement from President Biden himself? Can you just speak a little bit to your?
Yeah, it would be hard for me to believe that Hunter Biden was so charismatic that he could convince foreign nationals to wire millions of dollars into not just his account, but 8 of his family members' account. We believe that there was a return on the investment for the investment that these countries were wiring money to the various Biden family members. And why were they, why, as Representative Donald said, why would you create all these companies? I don't think a lot of people understand the complexity of these businesses. If you're doing something legitimate, if you're providing something of value, why not just get the payment directly from the payer? Why do you have to funnel it through 3 or 4 different bank accounts? So that's what there's an odd pattern that's developing here.
What policy are you referring to? Are you referring to the IP policy that Biden took away from office? What specific policy?
Well, we know that the president during the vice president during the last year of the Obama administration traveled around the world. He talked a lot about foreign aid in different countries, talked a lot about American policy, American assistance. And these are part of the types of policies. You look at some of the decisions that Joe Biden's made as president. There are many decisions that we would make a strong argument that put China first and America last. So these are the types of decisions. We'll get into more of those later. Yes.
We mentioned a little bit about how I'm trying to find all the numbers. About $10 million or more. Is that what you're thinking?
So far.
So far.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the White House is putting this off, playing this off as trying to downplay it. What message would you have for the president himself?
If these were legitimate payment, and those are legitimate businesses that your family created, then I would assume you have invoices. I would assume that you would have bank, books and business models and things like that to tell us what the businesses actually were. And I think that's something, instead of just attacking us for having the audacity to investigate this and be as transparent as we can possibly be with the media, then maybe he should answer questions as to what exactly his family did to receive this money and why so many of his family members received money. I don't think that's normal behavior. I don't think the person watching this on C-SPAN who's struggling to work over 40 hours a week, pay their bills, I don't think their family members get wires from adversaries around the world. So I think the American people understand that this stinks, and I think they appreciate what we're doing here.
Last question.
Annie.
Chairman Comer, you said that there's a legislative purpose to what we're doing here, and want to ensure that anyone sitting in the highest office or family doesn't benefit from these kinds of financial business dealings. Former President Donald Trump is running for president again. He has, him and his family have benefited while he was in office, since leaving office, from a number of countries. Are you investigating those business dealings as well?
We're going to look at everything when we get ready to introduce the legislation to ban influence peddling. If you go back to Jimmy Carter's brother, Billy Carter, receiving money from Libya, this has been a pattern for a long time. Republicans and Democrats have both complained about presidents' families receiving money. But the way that the Bidens have set this up, there's no business. President Carter's brother got the money directly from Libya. I've already reviewed that. And Joe Biden, ironically, was on the committee that investigated President Carter's brother when that took place. The former President Trump's son-in-law had some business deals, right? As Byron Donald said, we know what his businesses were. I'm not saying whether I agreed with what he did or not, but I actually know what his businesses are. What are the Biden businesses? That's what business? What we read in the press about, well, these were legitimate business deals that were done after Joe Biden was president. That's not true. These were set up when Joe Biden was vice president. And what is the business, Annie? What business are they in?
And can I follow up? In the lead of this press conference, you said that there's at least 9 Biden family individuals brought up today. Their memo today only includes 3. When are we going to learn about the other 6? Who are the others?
Well, since you asked, I will tell you. Joe Biden's son, Joe Biden's brother, Joe Biden's brother's wife, Hunter Biden's girlfriend or Beau Biden's widow, however you wanted to write that, Hunter Biden's ex-wife, Hunter Biden's current wife, and 3 children of the president's son and the president's brother. So we're talking about a grandchild. That's odd. Most people that work hard every day's grandchild doesn't get a wire from a foreign national or anything like that. So that'll conclude our question and answers. We're accessible. Feel free to come up to any member on the committee. We'll answer any questions you have. I want to thank Congressman Jordan for his work that they're doing with respect to the weaponization of the federal government. And I'm sure that everyone will be available to answer your questions today. Thank you.
Nazi fags.
And that's not what they want you to know. They want you to be completely distracted with this bullshit.
Let's turn now to some more breaking news. CBS News has just learned that the Justice Department filed charges against embattled New York Republican Congressman George Santos. He is expected to surrender in New York tomorrow when the nature of the charges will be revealed. CBS News previously reported that federal prosecutors were looking into the finances and financial disclosures of the freshman congressman after he admitted to lying about parts of his resume and background. The spokesman for Santos has declined to comment.
So that's what they, and Nanya, I think you're new. Good to welcome to the degenerate crew. Trump and Santos are everywhere. Yes, this is the distraction they're putting up. I think it's a poor distraction, honestly, but yeah. Because he diddled them. That's the simple answer. Personal accountability is dead. People don't take account. They're not accountable or liable for their actions anymore. It's all who can I blame and who can I make it their fault. So personal accountability is the beginning of the downfall. The power is strong. Like I said, talk to our resident. Yeah. So we haven't seen Stevie in like 2 months now. So, oh, I'm sorry, guy. That everybody says it's loud. I gotta, okay. I gotta certainly work on that because I hear it fine on my end, but apparently StreamYards is making it ridiculous. He lied about his experience on his resume. Apparently, that's a federal crime now. Yep. Oh, good deal. Well, good to see you. Good to talk to you. Exactly. And that's it's all a distraction. Don't look over here, look over here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that proposed half an hour stream just took me damn near 2 hours. So I have to get back to work. But see, that's what I'm saying. Some people say it's really loud. I gotta figure it out though. So is he gay? I didn't know he was actually gay. You bastard. It really is. That's what I'm saying. Different people can hear different things, so I got to figure it out. I'm taking the personal responsibility to work out a solution on my end, but currently the StreamYard mix screws it up. But I'm taking accountability and saying I'm going to fix it. Oh, it's going to be Trump. It's going to be Trump. Elizabeth Warren? Yeah, YouTube is doing that to everybody. So perfect opportunity. Make sure you're subbed up. YouTube likes to purge every time I gain momentum, they like to purge and knock me back down. So let's end the poll actually too. We got 39 votes in. 79% of you believe no, he will not get impeached, and 20% say yes. I disagree with the poll, but I appreciate your opinions. It's intermittently loud, like you're moving to and away from the mic. Okay. Gotcha. I'm actually not connected. So I have like a sound mixer too. It's called Steel. And I haven't been using it on these like impromptus because it takes a minute to set up. So, but I'll make sure that I'm doing that so it evens everything out. But all right, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for stopping by. Glad I could bring you that information. And no show tonight, but tomorrow night, 8:30 Eastern. We're going to be doing central bank digital currency and then into movie night over on Discord. So, all right, thanks for stopping by. Hope to see y'all later. Take care.